Hey guys, this is a really week 7 part 2, or also known as week 8. What happened is during week 7, the assignment was a lot, and really last week we covered about half the assignment, and this week we're going to cover the other half. Um, and so a lot of people didn't get done with week 7, so we extended it. And so what I've done for the sake of clarity in the class is the week 7 document is here, and it says week 7 that we did at Echo at 2:25. But last week in the week 7 video, we actually just covered two parts of the lab, and that is we did a modification for peak message last week, and we cleaned up our bitmaps in from last time, and we got it to look better. And what we ended up with it was with this. I'll pull this in here one more time, just to give us a review of where we're at. But basically, we have the field, we have the peak message going, and it's actually pretty cool. Put in your name and put in a level, which that doesn't do anything yet. But you can't put in level 1 yet, so level 2. And done. And again, it was supposed to just go automatically, and it just doesn't. Okay, so what we do there is sometimes that happens, and so we're going to recompile. And so let's do this one more time, because I was just doing it a second ago, and it was working. So maybe we'll take a look at this. We'll grab this, pull over, and 3 and 3 and done. Let's play, and I just hit one key and it just runs. That's what it was supposed to do. Every now and then we get a weird compile, and so don't be shocked when that happens. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened? Well, let's just recompile it and see what happened. And that ran off the screen because you can only win from direction 8. So we'll have to fix that, and yeah, that's so good. So, but there's the field. And what we're going to do this week is we're going to add a flag with some motion over here in the corner that goes, since we've got it to where that's kind of I hit a brick wall. So we're going to do this because we don't have all the code written. We're going to be able to go right through that hay bale, and then I'll go 6, and I'll go on over, and that'll be the win, and that'll win right there. So, like I said, that level has some bugs in it still, but generally we got the field loaded, we got peak message using, we learned how to peak, and so this week we're going to do the flag and a few other things to give us motion. So, I'm going to go ahead and close this. So we're going to do the flag, and we're also going to do, go back and look at my list, we cleaned up the bitmaps, and we're going to see if we can use a space bar so that once it gets rolling, we can use a space bar to stop the thing from moving, so like almost like a pause. So we're going to use space bar as a pause. Well, if you go back to your keyboard messages, you'll find out that now that we have the play modes done, we can just go ahead and catch what we call spacebar. And if they hit spacebar, of course before, if you go back and look at the code, before we're like catching, numpad 9, or we're trying to catch 045, which is 9 or E, or because we're trying to do WASD, or the key up, key down. But really, we just have to add one more condition to add a space bar, And the code really looks like this. I just have it over here in another editor of something I've already done. I'm just going to put it over here. And we'll line it up, line up automatically. And so the case is VK space. And if we set direction to 0, everything stops, is the way the code is supposed to work. Because if direction is 0, then nothing happens. So we no longer automatically advance. So the automatic advancement of the code stops because we didn't write in an automatic response for 0. So if we do put in T and put in 3 and say done, and if we just hit that, we just hit spacebar, it stops. But that doesn't quite do it all because our car disappears. And the reason why is if we go down and look at refresh, let's play refresh. The first thing we do when we refresh the screen, because we go in and look at the code, this is going to run let's play init or let's play refresh. So if play is still 1 at that point, so it's going to go ahead and run let's play refresh. Let's look at let's play refresh and see what's the first thing it does. It destroys the car. Okay, well, we can't destroy the car, can we? I mean, it's just so, yeah, but that's what, so let's go take a look at this just one more time. So we come up here and we go, let's play, so if they hit spacebar, they hit space, and we hit break. And I'm going to go over here and look at my other source real quick. Hang on. And so we do that. And we end the bracket. And that's what happens. And it's supposed to just pause. So the thing is we need a little bit more code to handle this. If the direction is 0, then what do we do? So in let's play refresh, if the direction is 0, then how do we handle that when we run let's play refresh? So I'm going to go look for, we have to add one more case statement because we send in a direction. And so what I did is when we get here, we have to display something that when we're stopped. And so what I did was say case 0. So if the direction is 0, because this is we go ahead and display. So I'm just throwing out HRC8. If you can find some image that you could put there, if you were paused, then that would be probably a better image to put there. But I haven't come up with a better image for pause, like, I don't know, car sit up or something like that, or sit down or something cartoon-like. But with that there, then it'll actually just display an image with the car up. So that's the other part of it, and I wasn't quite, so if I hit spacebar, everything stops. Okay, so that's really all the code is to that. If someone gets overwhelmed, I can get in here, and if I don't know what to do, I can say, let me do this, and then I want to do that. And I can work it out with the spacebar if I need to stop and take a break and think about, okay, how do I really handle this? When we run a timer, that will show up in the performance of the player, and so we will build timers into the score, hopefully, if we have time this semester. But we're still learning lots and lots of stuff, so going over a lot of code. So again, we have a case statement here. Remember what a case statement here. We're switching on IMG got to remember IMG is the same as DIR, and we're passing direction in. But if we want to retrofit this code, because now that direction is global, we can change this to DIR, and it will have the same effect. And because eventually that will go away. So, and so that's just part of the retrofit. Now that we have direction global, that we can just get that out of there too, and just switch on direction to have more consistent code. So again, we'll go here and notice how many times I'm compiling. Notice how many times I am just getting after it and compiling, and again, it works fine. Just no errors by changing that IMG to DIR. But again, small changes, compile, small changes, compile, and then it's like, oh, okay, let me see what I did wrong. When you make changes, look for the red dots to show up, and don't go anywhere until you get your red dots resolved. Okay, that's just don't do that. Well, that's funny. I'm just dragging my picture down and nothing. Okay, so that's part one. So we got the we use space, but now we get to do the other part, is a moving flag. And let me show you what that looks like here. I have a piece of code over here that I want to run, and just give you an idea. This is a piece for week 12. I mean, of course, the flag is already done. We rearranged the field to make it smaller in week 12. If you want to go ahead and look at the first part of the week 12 lecture, you can. But I'm putting two. But again, when they go ahead and hit play, notice that we have this motion over here for the flag, and we can go ahead and move about the field. And if we're running low on gas, which I didn't get to the gas can in time, you can actually, once you get past week 8, you can actually run out of gas. But I wanted you guys to see this flag here. Now, the flag is very interesting because the flag is actually 3 images. If you go out here and look in bitmaps, I'm in Dropbox for Echo Computers, you can see I have 3 flags here. 1, 2, and 3. And each flag is in a different position. You're like, well, Mr. Tim, where did you find those flags? Where did you find those sequences? Well, I was out there looking for something that would have motion. Well, what I did is I went out there and Googled, okay, flag waving action cartoon sequences. And so you can pull up these sequences and look at them, and it gives you all the different. This is a 9 sequence set, and what I did is I found a 6 sequence set, and I took every other sequence because I didn't want to do 9 flags. I probably should have brought all 9 down, but there's all kinds of different flags. Like, you can find an American flag. If you wanted to, you could probably take the watermark out of this, and you could actually pull in the 9 American flags on probably a shorter pole. But this is various places that have page stock, but you can see there's a market out there for just. I think that's an explosion there. See how the explosion works? And so someone has built explosion with Shutterstock, and then this is someone dropping a pebble into the water. Look at that. That's a cool one to me, because if you wanted to have something there that looked like water dropping, for some sort of animation, that would be a water droplet splashing. And so there's all kinds of sequences out there that we can get our hands on that are really totally cool. People in various, walking sequences, dancing sequences, flag sequences. I thought flag sequences was probably the easiest thing to deal with. And so I wanted to show you with the source where I found the flags, and I grabbed 3 flags, and all you need to do is grab these 3 flags. I have to go up to my repos directory for 7B, which is my code repository. And I'm just going to add these flags. Really? That didn't work. Let me see if I can do this again. I'm going to take this, through that, and go Control C. And now I'm going to go back to where it was, which is, go forward, I mean, to where it was. Class 17B, and I'm just going to put those 3 flags in my directory with the rest of my project. Okay? The way my projects compile, they go right in my directory. Some of you guys have a subdirectory under, put it in the same directory that has your CPP file for your major projects. But now I got F1, F2, and F3 BMP. Some pretty simple names. But now we're going to bring over some code to load the flags. So let's go ahead and load the flag bitmaps first. And so we're going to need some bitmap handles. So our bitmap handles, we have all these bitmap handles. Now, remember when we load in an image, we need to tie the image to a bitmap handle, and then we can display the image in a window handle. So first we have to do the H bitmaps, because those are the bitmap. So these are the bitmap handles. So I'm going to add 3 bitmap handles here, and I could type this out, but we're just going to do it this way. So pretend I type fast with Control V. I have a little notepad with it over here. So I'm adding, after HRC9, flag 1, flag 2, and flag 3. So there those are. Now we're going to go down and load in our 3 flags, and the place we're going to load these in is where we load in the rest of our images. So we're going to load in these 3 flags down here. No big deal. And then I'll show you how this works. So I'm going to need 3 statements here where I'm loading the 3 different images into 3 separate bitmap handles. So we'll load the images into the bitmap handles. Now, if you thought I really typed that fast, for clarity's sake, I'm not typing that fast. I might throw, but it's just, all it is really, to be honest with you, it's a copy of one of these lines. I've made the flags 120 by 150, and I'm pulling them in. And so I've got 3 flags, bitmaps. I've thrown them in my directory with my project. I've created 3 bitmap handles, and now we've loaded those bitmap handles with the 3 bitmaps that we just threw out in our project. Pretty straightforward. Now we need a window handle. Okay, we need to notice that in our project, that little box over there in the corner that we were displaying the flag in wasn't there. So we're going to have to put that box there. Well, that's pretty simple. We know that's a window handle, and so we have a way of defining a window handle. And we're going to call this one H flag. And no, yeah, I'm going to call this cheer. Because I thought it would be something to cheer the driver on. I started out and I found some sequences for someone cheering, but then I was like going, that was some cool bitmaps. It looked really good. But then I was afraid I would possibly, the outcome wasn't really positive. So but I did start out by calling them cheer. And then, so we're going to go down there and define the window handle cheer. So where do we define the window handle cheer? So we're going to go ahead and throw cheer on there. And cheer is a pretty simple window handle. and I just found an existing static window handle. I played with the position. I copied an existing static window message. Okay, and then so down here in where we're actually drawing all of our other objects in our add controls, we're just going to add another control. Okay, and we're going to add a control for the cheer section. Now we're going to put a flag in our cheer section. If you want to put something else in your cheer section, that's fine. Just make sure it doesn't upset your mother if she sees it. Okay, you know what the parameters are in your house, so go with that. So you can put anything in there. You can put anything with motion, any sequence in there. So we have a window there. We have some flags. We have a window handle. We have it defined. We've got a position and size. This is just a cut paste of another static window handle. Really, all I'm updating here is the name of the window handle and its position, drawing that box over on the side. That's all it is. Okay, that was a cut and paste of one of these right above it. Not really a big deal. You can move stuff around, no big deal. So, how do you get this? Well, let's take a look. So, in order to do this, in order to have motion, every time we updated this, I went to Let's Play Refresh. Okay, pretty simple. Because every time we refresh the field, because now that we're using peak message, we're not waiting on the user to do anything, and we're constantly refreshing the field. So we have these intervals every so many milliseconds where we are changing the screen. And so we have the ability now to add motion to this. And so really, there was a little variable that I created called flag, and we'll see what we do with flag here. Flag is an integer, and let's just add it to this list here. All right, and then we're going to say, so flag's an integer, we're just adding it to the list. I see a little red underscore there, but when I click off of it, it goes away, so that's not an issue. But I always look for those red underscores. And when I come into the beginning of my win main, I'm going to say just flag is equal to 1. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. So then we're going to go down and come in here and see what else we're going to do. Yeah. So, yep, that's how we did it. So we're going to go into Let's Play Refresh. Sorry, I had to go back over here and remind myself how I did this. So we go into Let's Play Refresh. The first thing we do in Let's Play Refresh is we're flipping through all the flags, and so I'm almost done to I passed Let's Play Refresh because I did. So there it is. So we're going to say flag equals flag plus 1. So every time we hit, right? So every time we hit Let's Play Refresh, we're going to say flag equals flag plus 1. So we're constantly, every time we hit this refresh loop, we're changing our flags. And then we're going to come down here at the very bottom of Let's Play Refresh, and then we have this case statement. So after this case statement, again, this was something I was playing with. We don't need this line of code here, so don't ignore that one. That was just something I was playing with. But I'll show you this, how this works. I'm going to come right here like this, and I'm just pretend I write this code really, really quick. But really, we'll just go. So if flag is 3, then I'm going to say flag is equal to 1. So if they got flag greater than 3, okay, notice I said greater than 3. So if the flag is greater than 3, so if I came in, if flag was 3 and I came in the Let's Play refresh, I added 1 and flag became 4. When flag is 4, it becomes 1. The next time it'll be 2, the next time it'll be 3, the next time after that it'll be 4, and then this piece of code will take it from 4 to 1. And then we have a switch statement on flags. And so if flag now is 1, I show flag 1. I just send the message out, flag 2. And this is, again, image, but we're used to doing all these from above. This is just really cut, paste code. You don't have to do a whole lot. You just have to make sure instead of doing the different cars. Now let's see if this works. I don't have any red dots. I might have one red dot. I do have a red dot. Oh no, I got a red dot. Right there. It's angry at me. So what did you guys let me do? Check objects. So when I cut and pasted this, oh, see that? Curly got me. Oh, Curly. Even Curly gets Mr. Tim. See, when that red dot was over there on the side, I should have said, wait a minute, time out, right? I hit compile. But again, I'm taking baby steps. So it had to do with this chunk of code or something I did in this last iteration of adding these pieces. So let's see what we get. Seems to compile. Because I expect my stuff to compile because I compile often. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I do compile often, and it keeps me out of trouble. But see, I have a nice little flag over here. My flag is this. I can drive my family crazy with that noise, or I can turn it down. So, and that doesn't count. So now I get credit for hitting a brick wall. All right, so that's how you do the flag. And so, really, the way the week 7 and week 8 got broke up, week 8 is a very simple lesson. But another thing we need to make sure we do is see this is wrong now. So we should really update this up here in our tile to make sure this says class win 7. Okay, I'm pulling a blank here. Oh yeah, so change that to an 8 right before you turn it in. And change, so that will show class week 8, and we'll save that, and that should be all you need to do. And then so then after this, you're going to move on to week 9. So get this done, turn it in, make it work. If you have any questions, let me know. Get on Skype with me, get on group me with me, and be sure to follow the document here in the Dropbox for the Echo computers. This is week 7, and it should say and 8, but when I wrote the document, I wrote it for week 7, but it just took a little bit longer to get done. So there's a complete solution for week 7/8, and I hope you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.